So Biden pardons Hunter. Knock me over with a feather. It didn't surprise me at all. What did surprise me is my own reaction, a little bit of it, because I thought after 4 years of gaslighting and treachery and dishonesty from these people, that, this would be like a straw that broke the camel's back or something like that. As it is with this entire sorry enterprise of the Biden presidency about to fold its tent and go home, I've said here on this show and on my own locally that I'm in the process of forgetting that the entire Biden family was ever born, and that probably mitigates the degree to which I'll get worked up about the Hunter pardon. But it's probably good for me to refresh my angst a little bit, and perhaps some of you will help me on that path, or tell me to, calm down, whichever you want. 1-8-Prager-776. Is it further evidence that these people will say one thing and do another? Is it further evidence of hypocrisy? Is it further evidence of just contempt for the American people? Sure, absolutely. There was a tweet I read last night from Charlie Kirk. No faint warrior there, right? And Charlie Kirk's point, to paraphrase, was like, hey, it's his son. We would have all done the same thing if it was our son, which may or may not be true. You tell me. That the lying about it is worse than, than the actual pardon. But that ultimately, and this was Charlie's interesting point, and I spent the morning thinking and talking about this with one audience, and now let's do it again. I think this is the only thing Biden cares about now. Here's a theory that took some shape in the overnight hours, and that is that there was a time not so long ago when Joe Biden thought he was going to be actually running and thought he might win, and if he won, then maybe he could safely change his mind about the pardon. If he changed his mind, or do what he always intended to do, fill in your own blanks. But that he could somehow, just by pulling the levers of power, that he could handle this in his second term in some way, shape, or form. Plan B, as soon as he got the hook in the bloodless coup and was removed from the election slate, was that Kamala would win and that she would pardon Hunter. Which sparked a question in my mind. Would she? Would she really? And if that answer is a definite yes, then maybe that's some deal that had been struck beforehand. I don't know. You get to strike deals. You get to pardon people when you're president. You do realize that there's nothing illegal, unconstitutional. If this just bugs you, it bugs you in your gut, morally, if you want to call it that. Political principle, if you want to call it that. Presidents get to do this. They can pardon anybody for any reason, and they don't get to tell you why, or they don't have to. They don't have to justify it. It's on that list of really cool things about being president. Now, if you want to be president and maintain some shred of historical respect, you don't do this. But as I mentioned in context here, these are the people who told you that your financial nightmare, the fact that you can't afford food or rent or anything, it's just transitory. We're not real worried about that. Not a big problem. These are the people who told you that Afghanistan was a success, which is a massive middle finger to our entire military. These are the people who told you the borders are fine, which is just an enormous, stunning disregard for the safety of people, not just in my state of Texas or other border states like Arizona and California. Every state's a border state, haven't we learned that? Every state is a border state. And they just didn't care. Not only, you know what? I would have had more respect for somebody who said, you know what? I think open borders are great. That's what we're going to do. Let the chips fall where they may. Wow. I would vociferously disagree, but at least they'd be being honest with me. These people say that 2 plus 2 equals 5. These people say that inflation is just transitory. Afghanistan was a success. By the way, there are 47 genders. And we are doing a great job at the border. Not that we have a different view of the border, like it doesn't need to exist, but that we are doing exactly what you want. We are keeping America safe, and this border problem, it's all just in your imagination. You know what else was in our imagination? Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline. My dog knew that Joe Biden wasn't fit for another 4 years. And yet Karine Jean-Pierre, who, by the way, has had a very interesting day aboard Air Force One. I have highlights, lowlights, whatever you might want to call them. They said we were crazy. He's fine. Even after the debate, even after the what was that, the end of June? Seems like a dozen years ago. They said, oh, it was jet lag. He had a cold. He's going to be just fine. And if you say he's not, okay, maybe there's a problem here, a problem there, but there's no way we're going to replace him on the ticket. No way Joe Biden gets replaced on the ticket. Turn your head, he's gone. So after this pathetic legacy of lies and deceit and dishonesty and gaslighting, is this really just another thing? In a way, yes. Yet, in a way, there's something special about this one. This one, and I have to tell you, if there's a silver lining here, if you want to call it that, it's watching the people, whether they are outright leftists or squish Republicans or never Trumpers or establishment denizens, watching all those people with their hair on fire, because these are the people who have told us, for, oh gosh, months and months and months, that this is the difference between Biden and Trump. This is why we love Biden and Trump is a demonic scourge. Rule of law, man. Rule of law. This is why this is the basis for which they said that Trump was unworthy and that Biden is the cat's pajamas, because he will respect the rule of law. He will, take what the system gives him. No tap dancing, no attempts to evade the consequences. That Joe Biden, man, he's a stand-up guy. He's gonna, in tough times, he's gonna say, I respect the system. You're not gonna get a pardon out of Joe Biden. No, because Joe Biden is just salt of the earth. You're not gonna get a pardon out of Joe Biden. Well, over the weekend, or overnight, we got a pardon out of Joe Biden. We got a pardon out of Joe Biden. Boy, did we. And so let's talk about it with you. Because his administration, his press secretary, when people dared to say, is he going to pardon Hunter? These are the people who said, we've told you 100, stop asking us this, you morons. We told you he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. So stop it. And now he's done it. And those people, that's the silver lining. Those people right now look ridiculous. And I confess, that makes me smile.